Healing the nervous system during our healing journeys, spiritual path, and not just that. I'm on my spiritual journey and on this healing process. Um, so one of the things that I realized is that it's a messy process. It's a very clumsy process as well. Nervous system, if it depends a lot on your environment growing up and also past lives as well. But in general, the nervous system, a dysregulated nervous system cannot function and cannot feel oneness with anything. Dysregulated nervous system that has been uh, most probably through a lot of trauma, especially if it's a repeating trauma. So it's let's say you've been exposed to a very long traumatic experience, like I have, for instance. That's my story. So I was born in a lot of domestic violence and neglect and poverty and a lot of things. So I was born under stress. So my nervous system has learned to cope up, and it's been stuck in survival mode ever since childhood, right? Which means it cannot process, it cannot function, it cannot trust. So, for instance, I had an issue with trusting what was happening, the journey in itself. I did not trust what was happening. Let's just say that's the inner child not trusting is playing out in patterns of mistrust, but that is actually a protecting mechanism. Trust is fear, because it's been such an impact on in childhood. There's a lot of resentment, there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of old patterns, old system of beliefs, and so on. And it can be a very messy and confusing process, especially if you have been through trauma. It's gonna take much longer. But the thing is that real growth, spiritual growth, and real growth happens under the healing process. It's almost impossible to find someone without a karmic baggage. Yes, some of us don't have so, you know, not bad, I'm not gonna say bad, but so, yeah. I am not one of those. I have a lot of karmic and generational baggage to clear up, and it's a long journey, it's a messy journey, it's a confusing journey, it's a very emotional journey. There's a lot of purging, emotional release. I have a lot of repressed creativity, self. There's no sense of self because there was never an opportunity to learn a clear, healthy sense of self. There was never a moment of authenticity. Everything was repressed, So we come after a history of such a thing. We've been functioning through our minds, the ego. Ego is nothing but a wounded child trying to get attention and needing to heal. So when ego death is what people say, ego death is actually the healing of the ego, the healing of the inner child, doing the shadow work, and all of the things that need to happen in order to have a proper connection, a deep connection with the divine. It's almost impossible, if not impossible, if you don't go through the healing journey. So you need you need to um, sit with yourself. You need to, it's a discovery, it's a self-discovery basically. And there's a lot of different paths, because not everybody's gonna be here to embrace a very spiritual life. Some are here to create, to end generational trauma, put an end, which is my story, put an end to a certain family line, because it's been so traumatic. And of course this is spiritual growth, of course, and then build a self, where expression, where creativity can be expressed. There's a lot of creative energy that's been repressed, sexual energy that's been repressed in this family line, and a lot of religious indoctrination, most I wanted to say. And it's funny because even today I realized something very profound for me, is that we treat the relationship with God that we had about the savior. So we have been living under the impression that God is outside of us. So there's a savior complex there, with God needing to save us. And this is the same law, the same attitude we apply in every relationship most times, especially where emotional dependency is happening, or with our families, especially with the caregivers. It doesn't matter if it's a female or a male role model. It's a need to be saved from that. And we are taught to not trust our voices, to not give attention, to not express emotions. Throughout the history, emotions and anything that had to do with to feminine energy has been repressed, has been put under condemnation, let's say. So I wanted to share this with you guys today, and think about healing is, if not the most, actually for me it is the most important thing. And it's not a very easy process, I know that, but it's so very important. Thank you for listening. See you soon. Healing the nervous system during our healing journeys